just sit down. Okay. When I first got this, firstly I'd like to thank you for the invite to come and talk about security, network, and cyber. When I got the original invite, it was broad. It was IT security on the whole, which is vast, you know what I mean? But I put together a little something to talk about it, so I hope you don't mind if I expand a little further than just cybersecurity. I know it's important, but we need to cover full security, the full gamut of security, because you got to think about everything, to be honest. Nowadays, you got to think about the whole thing. So let me push through this, because I'm told I have 30 minutes, and I don't want to go too far over that. So the question is, what is IT security? What is IT security? I mean, we are hated, to be honest. Security guys, we're hated by the persons in finance who have to say, why should I spend $45,000 to buy a piece of equipment that won't generate money? You know, by the people in IT, because they don't want to do the extra steps to protect themselves, because we're a hang loose type of people. You know what I mean? We're about function over form. Can I get this computer working? Yes. Okay. On to the next problem. You know what I mean? And that's generally how we are. Even me, I must admit, I want to get it working, and I want it to be practical, and then I want to move on. Unfortunately, IT security is very important, especially nowadays, where people are not a lot more people are tech savvy. See, if you go back 15 years ago, right? I was coming out of high school. A lot of you guys, I think I'm a little older than most. A lot of you guys, the same thing in high school. We didn't have as many IT savvy guys in the Bahamas. And IT wasn't as developed around the world, to be quite honest, right? You didn't have as many hackers and stuff like that going on. Today, if you put down any kind of wall, firewall, any kind of Linksys box, if you monitor the outside of that box, from the moment you put it there, some college guy is trying to hack into your box. He's got his little program out there, and it's sending out pings to everybody on the network, and he's trying to see if you have open ports so he could get in. That's what we're dealing with today. And we didn't have that 15 years ago. So IT security now is very important, especially with the fact that there is now so much money flowing on IT networks. Before, an IT network was a nice to have. You know, you had a couple of spreadsheets, you collect a couple of emails, you know what I mean? You know, you may have browsed the internet every so often. You printed songs and downloaded stuff, you know. I don't know if anybody remembers Real Media inside there, where you used to print, it used to take you 30 minutes to download a song, and if you was tired of doing that, you would actually go and print the lyrics to the song and sing the song yourself. Now what do you do today? You click on YouTube, and you go and you got the video to the song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Converted everything.
Everything. You know? So what we did was we monetized the network. We put person's credit cards, their identity on the network. We collect personal data, banking data, things worth a fortune. And your identity is all wrapped up in that. Because I can go online and get your identity, your ATM card, your ABM card, your credit card, and I can become you without ever walking in a store. I can spend all the money in your bank account. Nobody ever sees that I am not you. Banks put in safeguards to try to protect against it, but this is the threat.
It happens?
It happens. This is the threat. And I sit in courses with American government agents all the time. And their biggest thing is security. That's the biggest thing. Okay? Now, what qualifies me to talk about this subject? Okay. Besides the fact that I have a certification, right? I work in many of the large organizations in the Bahamas, including the Bahamas government, the police force, the defense force, a lot of financial institutions. Okay? This college actually, we put in the network infrastructure and security for this college. Your broad sweeping wireless network is something that IBM put in. I get to go into a lot of different environments, and I get to see what constitutes security for them, okay? And this is why I come back with the recommendations and my observations, my little observations about security as a whole. So, to me, in the last maybe 2 years, security is evolving, but it's becoming a lot more difficult. We've turned things on the air because things that we considered to be insecure 3 years ago, we now somehow consider to be secure. I'm talking about cloud computing, specifically, and mobile technology. We considered wireless to be the enemy because you had to encrypt it, and you had to make sure someone wasn't sitting out in the parking lot with an antenna in their car trying to hack into your wireless network. But now everybody's trying to figure out how do we engage mobile technologies, your phone, your tablet, bring your own laptop or bring your own workstation policy now that's sweeping across the US and will soon spill over into the Bahamas, where now the desktops that we provide you, that we secured, locked down, we no longer provide you. We say, go and buy your own whatever and bring it and use it on our network.
You see it?
That scares me, okay? But that is where the IT trends are moving towards, okay? And it seems like all the sacred cows, all the things that we hold there as the grassroots of IT security is now what they're asking us to open up. So let's look at some best practices for IT, for IT security. So, firstly, you need to secure all your accesses to your network. And we do that through, I'm going to give you a long list, okay? Basically, you want to put firewalls and intrusion prevention systems at the gateway of your network, which is where the internet comes in. You want to encrypt your WAN links. I have a lot of IT professionals who believe that we could just take our WAN links, our BTC, our cable Bahamas, and plug them straight into our network, into a switch. You don't know who is in between there. You cannot vouch for someone sitting in cable Bahamas or BTC who is now doing a man-in-the-middle attack and reading your traffic going across your network. Okay? It's off your premises onto somebody else's network. They can be diverting it, duplicating it, whatever. You don't know. And manipulating. So this is why VPNs across WAN links are important. Encryption of wireless, SSIDs, networks, turning off advertising of your SSID. So when I turn on my phone, I can't actually see your wireless network. Wireless networks really should be it should terminate in your DMZ. So even if after you've done all that, someone hacks into it, they're still in your DMZ, they're not actually in your internal network, okay? This also includes tracking down persons who bring their own Linksys boxes to work and plug them into your network and open up your network to everybody driving down the road, all right? Because you could do a test. Go to work, set up a wireless router, connect it to nothing, and see how quickly people start connecting to your wireless router. Just watch how many people start connecting to your wireless router. You just put that in. Wireless is a big thing, okay? Disable unused network ports. You should have security policies for your Windows workstation, for your workstations and servers. Regardless of what OS they're on, you should have a security policy. When I say security policies, I mean how often do you have to change passwords on there? what's the complexity of your passwords, access, how quickly screensavers or how quickly should your devices be locked, messages that pop up that says that only authorized persons are supposed to access this. That came out of a story in the States where someone walked into a bank, sat down in front of a computer and started to access the bank's files. When he was taken to court, the judge said, well, you didn't have any signs and said he couldn't do that.
You mean the user account permission?
Account permission, but he actually sat down with somebody who had their machine unlocked. Logged, they went into their banking application and started to look at people's data. And because there was nothing saying he could not do it, now that's not the same law, that doesn't apply to the Bahamas in particular. However, if that should happen and it now goes to court, where you think they're going, and what laws you think they're going to reference. So this is why when I set up routers, servers, switches, firewalls, I try to encourage my customers to put a disclaimer on there that says you unauthorized person shouldn't access these devices. Okay?